Hello, my name is Nicole, and thank you so much for taking the time out to listen. Today's message is titled, The Baggage They Carry. The baggage they carry. Notice, I didn't say the baggage you carry, because we're not talking about your baggage today. We're talking about the baggage that they, whoever they is, right, that you are observing, that you are praying about, that you are wishing that they would change, that they would do some things differently. The one that you may have contemplated on marrying, but now, nope, I'm not thinking about that. There's that baggage that they carry. And someone, today is your day to no longer look at the baggage, no longer be concerned about the baggage. Just know that it's time for you to pack your own baggage and move on in whatever way God moves you to move on. Sometimes for some people, it's simply moving out of a room and into another one within the same household. Sometimes it is moving from one desk to another desk in another department at a job. Sometimes moving is getting away from some folks on one website and building up a new network with some other folks on another website. I don't want to look at their baggage any longer. I don't want to advise them any longer on what they should and shouldn't do. I don't want to be concerned about what might happen to me as a result of continuing to discuss, to be a part of, to sleep with this person. Some people, you have gotten yourselves mixed up with the wrong people. Some people have gotten themselves involved with someone who may be harmless, but it's the people behind them that are dangerous. You see, I thought that he was okay when I got with him years and years ago. I thought that he didn't have any baggage. And then one day something crazy happened. And then the next thing I know, I'm looking out of a jail cell, somebody is saying. Someone else is saying, there was this person that I came across. She was beautiful. She was unique. She was different. I thought that possibly we could be able to have a serious relationship. And then I met her family. So much for that, says someone. I had every opportunity right before me until I got with this other group. And then this group promised me all these things only for me to find out that they were nothing more than just that, promises. I can't be mixed up with these folks. I feel like they're putting all their stuff upon me. It's time for me to go, says someone. Now, these examples, these fictional examples, are just a few things to show you how people get themselves mixed up. But here's the thing. They get out, though. They don't make excuses. They don't ask that people support them on any foolishness. They're not trying to argue, fuss, and fight with folk about stuff that they know they got themselves mixed up in. They just make up in their minds to go. Sometimes there is this issue that we have, an issue that needs to be dealt with, though, with the one true God behind closed doors. It's a spiritual issue. It's a emotional issue. It's a personality disorder that arose, and one didn't realize that this sort of thing showed up until someone challenged them on their thinking. Rather than be upset, rather than be critical, rather than fight and so forth, that individual should just receive the truth for what it is. I messed up. That's all. I simply messed up. And so I'm going to the Lord and I'm talking to him and I'm telling him about these different things. You see, their baggage becomes your baggage when you allow them to drop it off at your doorstep, to store it up in one of your rooms. Their baggage becomes your baggage when they start talking to you about it, and you're always having something to say related to what they've spoken to you about. Their baggage becomes your baggage because you agreed to pay for something. You co-signed on something. You opened up your doors. You gave them all of these things. And so now they feel like they're bound to you. And when they feel that they're bound to you, that's when they're going to do any number of things to hurt you too. Because depending on the type of individual or group, they just might do that. And then if it's not them doing it, it's the people that are connected to them that do that. It wasn't that long ago that I watched this video about a relationship that ended up being fatal attraction, except it wasn't between the two parties who had met one another and had planned to get married and all of that. Instead, it was between the woman and her ex. An ex who was still holding grudges because he was under the impression that she was a snitch. And that wasn't true. That wasn't true. Even the police had found some information and so forth. And they tried to, I guess, tell this individual, but he wasn't buying it. And, well, it is what it is, right? People end up getting hurt. Her new man ended up being murdered, and, well, she ended up being killed because the man was still holding grudges. He didn't want to believe that she wasn't a snitch. If that man only knew, right? But the new man who had been murdered, he had told her to stop talking to this man. But you see, she didn't want to listen. And so that was the first sign right there that, I got myself a problem. And so whatever he thought in his mind about a future with this individual, well, that wasn't going to happen. You see, if you have problems getting rid of your baggage early on in a relationship, I will tell you from personal experience that people after a while get tired of hearing your conversation. They get tired of wanting to help you out of your predicaments. They get tired of you carrying all of this stuff with you. Can't you let go of some of your baggage? You see, maybe some of you all, that's probably what you said. Why can't you just let go of the past? Why you got to bring him into the bed with us? The ex-boyfriend, ex-husband. Why is it that every time I turn around, you telling me about your ex-girlfriend or your ex-wife and how great of a cook she was, or, how you all really didn't have any problems, but, now being with me, it's an issue. I mean, really, why don't you just go back to her? Woo, Jesus. I'm telling you, some of these arguments can be quite vicious, but at the same time, though, they speak to the baggage that people carry, you see. And yes, the truth hurts. The truth hurts when you carry stuff that you were supposed to have gotten rid of before that person came into your life. Some of you all, you see their baggage and you don't want it coming to your doorstep. That's why you don't invite certain people to family events. That's why you don't go and visit people. That's why you don't open up your door or, open up the phone lines for some folks, because I know what your baggage is. It's some baggage you've been carrying for 10, 15, 20, 30 plus years. No, I'm not interested in that. Some of you all, you already knew about all this stuff that was going on with these people. And that's what ultimately killed your relationship. Let's talk about some of these father and son relationships, mother and daughter relationships. Daughter stops talking to the mother because she knows that mama sold out on her husband. This could be husband number 1, 2, 3. It don't matter. She always just getting caught up with these men. She falls over. For these men. She's just ripping and running for these men. She ain't got time for her children. Well, I'm doing all of these things in her defense because, well, he's the one that's got the money. He's the one that's got the opportunities. He's the one that was there for me when nobody else wasn't. Besides, he helped take care of you, daughter. Come on now. But when a person has such a hold on you, it's hard to be able to get up out of that type of mindset. It's hard to be able to see the destruction that they have caused. Because see, what the outside sees as destruction, the one who's in the mess doesn't see it as destruction. And so what some of these people do that's in these interesting relationships is they carry their baggage around in their relationships with other people. Daughter doesn't want to keep hearing about your drama with your man. The son doesn't want to keep hearing all your dramas with all these women that you get yourself involved with, daddy. I mean, you fall head over heels in love with anybody who moves their hips a certain kind of way. I mean, come on, you see. And so when people start getting a clue, that there's some things going on with some folks and, they're carrying a lot of stuff with them. And now that stuff is showing up in conversations and, even in the selection of gifts and whether they're going to do for you or don't do for you. I mean, that's baggage. I'm not in a relationship with daddy's girlfriend or daddy's, wife or daddy's mistress or whoever else. I'm not in a relationship with mama's ex-husband or mama's current mate or mama's future boyfriend. I'm in a relationship with the mother or with the father. You see, some of these children, that's all they want. That's all they want. But you see, when you start seeing things and you start hearing things, and then you may be the one guilty of things, you got to look at all of what you're doing and not doing in a relationship. And when God shows you through all sorts of signs, miracles, visions, wonders, you name it, through people, through shows, and you still don't get it, I mean, what does it take? Oh, that's right. It takes people starting to drop off, people starting to go somewhere else. No, I'm not helping you, mama, carry your bags any longer. No, I'm not going to be that one that's going to pack up stuff and put it in a trunk for you. No, I'm not going to be that one that's going to help you through these hard times. I'm sorry, but I just don't have the mental capacity to deal with it. I'm sorry, I just don't have the money to do this once again with you. No, I'm not interested in traveling where you are or you coming where I am, because we all got baggage. Jesus. Some of you all aren't ready for the truth. You see, because you want to hold on to the baggage. Picture a woman. She's got a bag on her back. She's got 2 bags in one hand and 2 bags in the other. She's got baggage all around her feet. She is older now. It's getting harder to carry those bags and boxes. She's walking and sometimes she has to stop and catch her breath. I'm trying to get to my destination, but I've been doing things in my own strength for so long. I'm trying to get to where I need to be, but there's too many people holding me back. Who are those people? It's the past memories. It's a crazy mind. It's the breakups. It's the death that has taken place. It's the sickness. Come on, somebody. You keep carrying the bags. You keep making excuses to bring your bags. And after a while, stuff starts to stink. And now people don't even want to open up their doors. The bus driver, he passes you by. Come on now. I'm talking to somebody. And every time God keeps showing you something, he keeps showing you something, and then he shows you something else, you make excuses. Come on. Some people are in relationships right now and they say, everything's good, everything's fine, everything's wonderful. Oh, I'm just great. Right? But they deceive themselves. They're delusional. They got so much stuff going on inside the household. When they look at things around them, it's all reminders of years of baggage. Oh, this is a beautiful momentum, this one says, and oh, this one is great. And the couple, sometimes they have their disputes about what's in the house. Well, they should, because some of that stuff is toxic. When you got somebody telling you that that was the chair that came from the last relationship, and once you told me that she bought it for you, every time I walk past that chair, I think about your ex. Can we get rid of it? What about your pictures? All these men up on the walls. Well, that's my father, that's my brother, or what have you. But didn't you say that these people abused you and used you? Why I gotta walk past your family members that abused you? We gotta get rid of some stuff. I'm not getting rid of this. I'm not getting rid of that. Uh-oh, there's no compromise. Somebody doesn't want to let go of the baggage. Oh, there's a spirit in the atmosphere. There's one of rebellion, the Lord says. The same spirit that when he tries to speak to you and tell you what is right from wrong, you got excuses. When he uses people to tell you that you got to let go of some things, well, some of you all, you've been used to talk to these people. You have tried to advise them. You have tried to tell them that, listen, this is what you ought to do, because if you don't, it's going to continue to be a problem. And you know what they did. They came up with excuses, right? They got to hold on to their baggage. They got to hold on to the bad stuff. They got to, just keep recruiting folks into their world of crazy, into their world of confusion, into their world of, back in the day kind of stuff. Oh, the good old days, some people say. The good old days had a bunch of baggage. The good old days, there was broke, busted, and disgusted people. Oh, but that's right. Selective memory for some folks. God said that he wanted you to come up out of that type of atmosphere. But you know what some people did? They ended up going right into that same atmosphere. Their mama had baggage and now they got baggage. The grandmama had a bunch of baggage and now the grandson, he's carrying the baggage. Some folks, their baggage is all of the stuff that they acquired from stealing. Yes, I said stealing. And they know that they need to return some things, but nope, they're not going to do it. Some people's baggage is some diseases, some untreated illnesses. And the more you talk, the more they won't walk. Some folks, they've been having the same old baggage ever since they were young. Ever since they were young. Mama dumped a bunch of mess on them. Daddy dumped a bunch of mess on them. Cousins, aunts, uncles, you name it, brothers, sisters, put a bunch of baggage on them. And you know that the folks now are seniors and they still got that baggage. Emotional baggage. Spiritual baggage. Can I just keep my bags? I need for you to only carry one. But no. I need all of these. Are you sure you need these things? Yes. And some of you all, you make room for it, don't you? And then you resent the fact that you did that. But I was just helping. Well, now your helping is turning into cursing. And you think God's not paying attention to you? Yes, initially you did help some folks. You allowed them to bring all their bags, boxes, bins, and so forth. And now you're cursing. When you get to that point, you are no longer helping anyone. Codependent. You got to establish boundaries when you know you cannot tolerate certain things. But I was just trying to be nice. I know, but sometimes nice ends up costing you your space, your time, your energy, and people have a way of taking advantage of that. You've got to establish boundaries. You've got to say, you got 10, 15, 20, 30 some days to get this stuff up out of here. I was just being nice at that particular time. I thought that maybe you only had 1 to 4 items. Now you done accumulated about 10 to 12 items. I can't function in this atmosphere. And that person's going to fight you, of course. They're going to look at you as the bad guy. They're going to do all sorts of things to try to make you feel guilty. Well, if I get rid of this, I might just have a mental breakdown. Well, come on, this is all I got. Oh, why would you do this? And you say that God is with you. You just can't. See, you better be ready for it. And don't back down. Don't be weak. Some of you all, some people like this. Never want to say anything to the person that offends them. But they always want to talk to you about some stuff, huh? And all you do is say, well, why don't you go to her and talk about that? Why don't you go to him? There's really nothing I can say or do. I've given you all the advice that I can give you. Well, why don't you take her in? Oh, now that I'm not doing. That I'm not doing. Because see, people will tell you when they want to sell some of these folks with all these bags, right? Bags of the past, bags, physical bags and so forth. They're going to sell you on the fact that it's not as bad as they once described, or it's not as bad as what they're going through. Or, well, if you love me, you'll do it. I don't want to end up having a nervous breakdown behind all of this. I mean, really, why don't you just take on this? See, so that's what they do when they don't want to deal with the mess that they've gotten themselves into. And some of you all, you'll fall for it. Well, I'll take mama and all her bags. Well, yeah, I guess I'll take my wayward brother and my sister because, well, I mean, and so then before long, you destroy your whole family and don't even realize it. Because sometimes people are going through some things within your own household, and then you bring in someone along with all their stuff. Okay. Now, those who were already tiptoeing toward the edge, okay, of having their own share of issues, they've been pushed all the way over. It wasn't enough to bring the dog. It wasn't enough to bring, this person in from, this area. And it wasn't enough for you to have all these other responsibilities. Now you want to bring your cousin, your uncle, and whoever else. You see. And so eventually these relationships, they go downhill. Okay. The other thing is that when people are selling you on these people with all the baggage, they don't tell you about all the other stuff that goes on with them, like the mental stuff, like the addictions, like the fact that they're disrespectful or they're unclean, the fact that they're not believers, or they are believers, but they're not believers in the sense that you might believe. You see, so there's so much stuff that goes on, but I've got to try to downplay some things because I want the baggage that I accumulated to be put on your shoulders. You see? So you got to be mindful of people like this who want to dump stuff on you. Sometimes it's not people, it's projects. They took on a whole lot of stuff and now they're looking for you to dig them out of the mess. No, you're a helpmate, right? Well, be a, helpmate and help me out of this. Excuse me, but you decided to take on this responsibility. Don't you go sitting up there telling me that I got to do A, B, and C. I do A, B, and C when I get good, well, and ready. Right? Some of these folks will do this sort of thing. And then they want you to perform. Well, you should be like me. You should do this for me. You should do that. And after a while, people are like, no. They get tired of the rejection. So then if you, being that you're a believer, listens to what they're saying and then eventually does something, now you are considered great, wonderful, and a favorite. But is it really worth all the headache? You see? So there are times where God's going to move you to help other people, but it's a season. It's not meant forever and always. And then there's a time where God is just going to tell you, you better say no unless you want some more drama, some more issues. Okay? And some of you all, you're on the outside looking in, and you should be praising the Lord and thanking him that he kept you out of that mess. Okay? Because there's a reason why God will tell you no to stuff, or why, he wants you to be distant with some people, because he knows what the future holds and he knows all of the baggage that's going to come with those people. So aren't you glad that you bailed out quick? Aren't you glad that you listened to the Lord? Aren't you glad that you disconnected from some folks? Because you're getting those reports back and they're negative, aren't they? Well, may God be with you. Thank you, as always, for taking time out of your busy schedule to listen. Blessings to you.